All right, good morning. You are tuned into 1100 WSGI, and this is Lee Marie with the special edition Go Show. Because it is the first Friday of the month, which means it is Health and Fitness Friday. So we used to have Wild Doc every Friday, but there's so much going on that, and with the weather, we're going to vary it up a little bit and have different guests come in as well. So today I got two guests, so we are doubly blessed. But anyways, yes, Go Show is every Wednesday, but then, of course, every first Friday. And the Go Show is your source for information, inspiration, and always a few dates to add to your calendar. So we'll be giving you lots of stuff today because there's so much going on. But before we do that, let us go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for our county. Thank you for just all the blessings. We pray for your angels of protection. We thank you for your angels of protection that are camped all around us. Please take this show exactly where you want it to go. Thank you for the message from the last hour. Needed that. We love you. We praise you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. All right. Good morning. We have Stephen to start us out. How you doing,
Good
Stephen?
morning. How are you doing today?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Very good.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Stephen, in case you don't know, he is a stretching expert, and he is doing the Monday 9 a.m. stretching, agility, burn fat while you sleep, all that kind of training, breathing. Matter of fact, I saw a really great doctor that I like a whole bunch, James Bergman. He's from another state, but I was watching one of his videos yesterday. I forgot to tell you this. And he was talking about that same breathing that you've been teaching for decades. I don't hear enough people talking about that, but I was really happy that he was talking about because he's been right on everything also. So anyways,
How to breathe.
that's right. And how important that is. We
You
take,
ever feel like you need to stretch a little bit? Like sit up in your chair and just stretch back and take a good breath of air in and relax, just do that a couple of times and it might just clear up your head and make you feel better. So sometimes it's a good idea just to breathe a little bit.
and sit up straight too.
Yeah.
Slouching is not good for a lot of things. He was talking about that too. So I'm trying. There's so many things. We don't want to overwhelm people. And I do want to just mention straight off that even though this is Health and Fitness Friday, we are not doctors. This is entertainment. And we just hope to be inspiration for you guys. And because, it's the end of the year. So that means we get to make New Year's resolutions. And I know some people, like to, badmouth New Year's resolutions because they say, oh, I never keep them. Well, you know what? Some of us keep them. Some of us keep them. And you know what? You can always start again every month or every day. You just have to, be your best self, pull yourself back up.
Who's also not a doctor?
Who?
All those people on television, they're telling you to take drugs.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's one thing I hate about TV. I mean, I'm really glad that we don't have a TV, but when I'm at other people's houses and their TV's on, I can't believe how many pharmaceutical, like it's nonstop pharmaceutical ads.
We still end up watching things that are shown on television. When we watch football that's recorded or what have
Right,
you.
right.
But yeah, your health. Your health is something that you have to sort of take control of yourself. You can't rely on other people to manage your health for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing that, you're not going to be a healthy person.
That's
And I
right.
find that the people who have so many other people helping them manage their health are the same people who have the most health problems.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's just the nature of the situation that you end up having a whole bunch of people helping you with your health when you have health problems. But either way, getting healthy, there's more than one thing to consider when you're thinking about your health, right? You have to consider your spiritual health.
Mm.
You have to consider your physical health, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your well-being. And part of your well-being has been secure in yourself and your personal security. And as you notice today, and if he's looking on camera, you can see that I am wearing a shoulder holster. That is not a back brace. That is a shoulder holster. Yes, we are celebrating our Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms today. So I just want to remind everybody that we have a Tennessee Firearms Association meeting on Monday. That's right.
Yes, Monday, December 8th. 6 p.m. at the American Legion in Greenbrier. And if y'all didn't make it out to the turkey shoot, I don't know why you didn't, because that was a great opportunity to support our local veterans. But, and if you did make it out, you saw how beautiful the American Legion is now. They have just redone everything, the floors, the walls, the tables. It looks fabulous. So if you're looking for a place to rent, that would be a great option, guys. So make sure you check it out. But yes, this coming Monday, December 8th, at 6 p.m. is the potluck, and it's Christmas feast theme. So those are always really good ones. 6 o'clock, we're going to meet for dinner, and then we have a program at 6:30. This one will be a little bit more festive because everybody's in the holiday mood, and we're still collecting gifts for our local veterans and surviving spouses. So if you would like to bring a throw in a gift bag or a gift card for either Walmart or Kroger for $25, that would be much appreciated. They're going to be passing those out, I believe, the second week of December, so after we meet. So again, this coming Monday, December 8th, 6 p.m., our Tennessee Firearms Association Robertson County chapter meets. So we hope that you guys will come on out. It's all ages, it's all parties. It's just if you believe in the Second Amendment or you just want to learn more about it and why it is so important to defend our Second Amendment, come on out. It's a great group of people.
Or if you're hungry and you want to eat some, barbecue or something, come on out.
Oh, that's right.
Be
Stephen's
Christmas
making
themed,
pork.
but I'm sure we'll have some pork for you. Yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Oh, and wear your Christmas T-shirts or Christmas sweaters because we always have a contest for most festive dressed. This shirt today I'm wearing says "Jesus is the reason" for the season, and I got this at Crossroads Bookstore in the square. They're located at 600 South Main Street, right next to Well in the Square. They have some really cool Christmas shirts, but the cool sizes are fastly leaving. So make sure you
It's
get
my
out there.
favorite time of the year. This cold weather, going out shopping, looking at all kinds of wonderful things. Buying matching jammies. So the
Yes, we got our
dogs,
matching jammies.
some for the dogs, and
Yes, this year we got them all
look
for all
the
three
same.
dogs too.
All the dogs match, and we all match. And so we're going to look like Christmas here together
Oh.
on Christmas morning. We're getting ready for that. My favorite time of the year. I love winter. I know people say it's cold. My dad says it's cold. It makes his bones hurt or what have you. But I just think the seasonal change is good for us. When we have changes in our seasons, it's part of our well-being. I think we do better when we get to sort of work against the cold or work against the heat in the summertime. We do better. I think it helps stimulate us. It helps give us a little bit more of a reason to strive. I just feel good about that. Now, I know people down at the equator don't get a lot of change in their seasons, and I think they're probably not so, they're probably not as healthy as we are. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think it's good for our well-being. Feeling secure in ourselves is good for our well-being. So we're talking about Second Amendment, and we're talking about well-being and health and all that. But feeling good, feeling good about our well-being and feeling good about our families and our health is something that we sort of think about when the season changes. Because when it changes, it gets colder. You might have some aches and pains. You might get out there and feel like cold and tired, what have you. You start eating a lot of sugar and pies and cakes, and that gets you run down a little bit. So that seasonal change will make us aware of our health and our well-being. We'll start thinking about our health. Right around this time of the year, right about the first of the year, people start making resolutions. We have a seasonal change. We have a yearly change. In February, we get to change over. January. Did I say February? Because by February, we're sort of done with our resolution, right? It takes about a month before we're done with it. But at the same time, we do think about our health and we think about our well-being and our families and things that we want to do in life. Around this time of the year, we start thinking about the new year, and of course, we're hopeful for Christmas. We want to see what Santa Claus is going to bring us. There's so many different things happening. It's a lot of fun. This is just a fun time of the year. But along with that fun comes a lot of busyness because we are trying to do things for other people. We're trying to set up dinners. We're trying to set up parties, and we're rushing around and we're stressing ourselves out. So we don't want to do that. Really, we don't. But we end up doing it. And you see a lot of traffic on the road this time of the year. People are shopping. It gets cold. We get a cold snap. We get some ice or some snow or some sleet. And then people rush to the grocery store to get all the waters and toilet paper that they can load into the car, right? Load them up and empty the shelves. So that does happen too. So there is a little bit of that. And that should remind us again that what are we concerned about? What are we worried about, right? We see the seasonal change and suddenly we're concerned about a lot of things, right? We're concerned, do we have enough water? Do we have enough toilet paper? This is so funny, but it's so true. People do this. They run and they empty the shelves. And we get a little bit of a cold snap and people start rushing around like it's the end of the world. So seasonal changes do cause us to stop, to pause, to take note, and to be concerned with our well being and our security. And one of the things that I talk about security all the time, personal security and well being come hand in hand. How can you feel safe and secure if you are not? If you are not a person who arms yourself when you go out. And I think that, going out armed is a very, a very good thing. I think that I believe in a Second Amendment. I believe it's part of who we are. It's part of what we should be doing. And I believe that crime goes down. We looked at that. We talked about that last week, right? Part of our well-being is feeling secure. And part of feeling secure is knowing that you are armed and ready to protect yourself and your family at home and abroad. And this is why we have state reciprocity. You can go to Kentucky. Somebody was asking me last night, a young lady was asking me last night, she said, I was going to go to Ohio and Kentucky. I didn't know if I could carry my firearm with me. And I said, oh, no, you absolutely can. They have reciprocity. Every state in the union has some reciprocity. They allow you to carry your firearm with you as you go across. It's illegal for you to possess, keep and bear arms in your own state. It is legal for you to keep, possess arms in their state. So this is important to understand. They do have reciprocity, and the Constitution protects you as you travel. So there's also state law, and there is our U.S. Constitution that protects you. So you can be secure in your well-being and your safety, personal safety for you and your family as you travel from state to state. Uh, I don't know what's going to go on if you travel from country to country. That might be a different thing. You have to check out the laws. Of course, you always want to check out the laws in the state you're going to because there's a lot of fight going on right now. A lot of people are trying to resist. A lot of people are trying to take your rights to keep and bear arms away from you. And so we want to make sure that you understand that you do have some things to consider. But for the most part, every state in the union has reciprocity, and it's been confirmed several times over now with a lot of different judges. And so we know that we can do this. I do. I always carry a firearm with me when I go from state to state. Now, one thing they will not let you do is if you're going to Canada and you go across the border to go to Niagara Falls, you're not allowed to carry a firearm. And it's a shame that you're not allowed to because they have high crime up there, and it is a shame that you're not allowed to carry your firearm with you when you go through Canada. And it's just something that we need to deal with, and it's unfortunate. I know when I got to the border up there in Canada, they asked me. They said, "You're from Tennessee." They saw my license plate, and they said, "Well, y'all in Tennessee, you carry firearms. We know that." And like, yeah, we do. We do in Tennessee, but I'm not carrying across the border because I know that y'all are going to put me in jail if you find a firearm in my car. And they will. They'll put you in jail. So it is not a fun thing. So just remember that if you're going to Canada, you're going to Niagara Falls, they will arrest you, put you in jail if you try to catch you with your firearm coming across the border. So it's a thing we have to deal with Canada, and it's why Canada is so backwards in so many different ways. But anyway, this is the way it is. I can tell you right now that part of your health and your fitness and your well-being is something where we take pause and we take assessment of our health and our well-being. If you're eating a lot of pies and a lot of cakes, we know here we are on Health Friday, right? Healthy Friday Day, which we're calling Friday Fitness or Fitness Friday. But if you're eating a lot of cakes and a lot of sugars, just know that that will upset your gut health. And that can lead, after a couple of weeks, that can lead to some getting you run down and being susceptible to viruses. And this is one of the things that can happen over time. And it's happened to me quite a bit. I actually have suffered some serious viral attacks because of eating too much sugar over a prolonged period of time. I love pie and I love banana pudding. And I can eat a lot of pie. I can tell you right now, I can sit down and eat me some pie. And Lee Marie can tell you, she's seen me do it. But I can tell you that can be rough on your system. After a couple of weeks of eating pie every day, you will
Quit
probably
talking
suffer
about
a
pie and
viral
inspire
gut
them to
attack.
move their bodies.
What's that? What's that?
I said, quit talking about pie and inspire them to move their bodies.
Well, we can move our bodies. We can. Now, there's one thing you can do if you're eating a lot of pie. Now, just say, if you're eating a lot of pie, there is one thing you can do, and this does work. I can tell you right now, this will help. If you're eating pie during the day or during lunchtime, what have you, or you're eating cake or you're eating banana pudding, Later on, a couple of hours later, not right after, but a few hours later, eat a grapefruit. And I can tell you, this is really weird. And many years ago, I would never believed it. But we had a wellness center, and one time the director of the wellness center said, "Look, I just figured something out. If I eat bad, I just eat a grapefruit 4 hours later, and it sort of reverses everything."
Hmm.
And we were joking about it, but it's true. It's really true. If you eat a couple of grapefruits 4 or 5 hours later, and I mean eat the whole grapefruit, like just
Not the skin.
take the grapefruit and cut it into boats like you would have boats in an orange. They're much better that way, especially the red grapefruit. Don't try to peel the grapefruit. Just slice it into boats and eat it that way. That way you get the little lining in between. I know it's a bitter lining, but you eat that bitter lining in between all of the delicious the sweet part. But that bitter lining is like a magical substance. It will cure you. It's a medicine, and it will straighten out your gut health. It will really, really turn you around. So that grapefruit is something that can really turn things around if you're the kind of person like me that will eat a little bit too much sugar during the holidays. Now, I will do that 3 days in a row, 3 or 4 days in a row, and I will really feel better. I can tell right away my system is working better, my liver's working better, everything's working better. And that grapefruit is like the magic elixir. I tell you, believe me, try that grapefruit. Try it 1 or 2 days in a row. Slice it into boats. Like you would eat an orange, like you would slice a boats for an orange for a child, and eat the grapefruit that way. So you get the inner lining, you get that little white part between the what do they call it, the leaves or what have you. But you get the white part in between, and you want to make sure you eat that as well. And that will fix you right up if you are the kind of person that likes to eat too much of the wrong thing. And I also remember, now I was just looking at the amendments today. As we're talking about the Second Amendment, but I was looking at one other amendment. Do you know what okay, the 18th Amendment, what did that do? That made alcohol illegal in America, the 18th Amendment, right? And then it was the 21st Amendment that reversed it, right? Now, there was a temperance league in America at that time. People thought that alcohol was bad for you. And so they were trying to get people to stop drinking alcohol. And they thought that alcohol was bad for society. Mostly they thought it was bad for society. But we know that alcohol is full of sugar. And so if you like to
Yeah.
have a nip during the holidays, and a lot of people do, then you are going to have to contend with the fact that that is going to up your sugar level and that it's going to really destroy your gut health, because alcohol
Yeah.
will destroy your gut health. It is really definitely the wrong thing to be ingesting. And so, again, like I said, if you're going to be doing this to your body during the holidays, you're going to have to take some other precautions to try to fix it up. You're going to have to eat some grapefruit. You're going to have to get on a good vitamin regimen. And I know that in just a few minutes here, we're going to have Deborah coming in. Hopefully, she'll be coming in to talk about longevity and the delicious vitamin products they have. And I know I've been on this stuff, and my hair, I'm not getting any grayer because this is stopping the gray.
I
And I
know.
don't color my hair anymore, right? Well, I only did once or twice anyway, but I don't color my hair, and it stops the gray. It really does, because it adds the copper back, the special type of copper that you need to prevent your hair from going completely white. Now, had I been taking this stuff years ago, I would still have my original auburn, dark brown, beautiful hair. But because I don't have that color, I let it go too long. But now that I am on the longevity vitamin packs, I am feeling great, and I'm looking okay, my best, I guess, for what you can do if you're a little frog like me. I
Oh
look the
my
best
goodness,
I
it's
can.
already 8:20. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I do need to mention a few calendar items real quick. So this weekend is fabulous. Let me just tell you, there's so much going on. Of course, the Journey to Bethlehem. If you guys missed, Sharon was on my show on Wednesday. She talked about that. A free event for families to go through 12 different stations. You just think that you're in Bethlehem. They're going to have a petting zoo outside and just wonderful. So that is at the First Baptist Church of Jolton, and that is December 5th, 6th, and 7th. Okay, the 6th is going to be a big day, guys, because 8:30 in the a.m. 8:30 a.m. is the Patriot Potluck Breakfast over at Purpose Life Church. That's at 805 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. All Patriots invited. 8:30 is the start time on that. And then 11:30 to 12, Prayer in the Square. It's going to be over at Well in the Square. And just a time to come together and pray for our county, our state, our nation. And then, guys, guess what? The parade is coming to Springfield. So we're going to be doing a nighttime parade. It's at 5:30 all the way down Main Street. It's going to go right by Well in the Square. So I'm sure I'll be inside Well in the Square at least by 4:30. So if you want to come by and say hi or whatever, because we have some merch in there too and gift certificates, so you can come by and see us. And then after the parade, guys, do you know where you're going to head over for dinner?
Where?
The fairgrounds for the chili.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember? Yeah, so
We love chili.
that's the annual first responders chili fundraiser over at the Robertson County Fairgrounds. So there's even more stuff going on Saturday. So just go to the Lee Marie Facebook page and scroll down a bit. You're going to need to go through a lot of health stuff because I've been finding a lot of great natural remedies for things, and I've been posting them. So you got to weed through that to find the events, but that's okay because you'll get healthier as you do that. And then, so that is Saturday. And then Sunday, of course, again, Journey Through Bethlehem is going on. Monday, we have a cool sewing class. So if you have, now we're not doing the gowns. Well, we might be finishing gowns, but they're going to be doing some new projects. So brand new projects. So, if you're a beginner sewer, no problem at all. That is 10 a.m. to 12.
Now
Register.
they are sewing dresses. What are they're sewing a lot of dresses. They're making their dresses for a special event.
Yes, so we will talk about that right now. Old Time Christmas Ball is coming up Friday, December 12th. All ages, no experience needed, no partner needed. This can be your princess ball. This can be your father-daughter. Great Christmas gift right here. Pre-sale's only 10. It's 20 at the door, guys, so please buy early.
If you've always wanted to learn to waltz,
There
and
you
you've
go.
never tried, come on out. We're going to make it easy for you. Learn to waltz, have a good time. You might do a few other old-time dances as well. We're going to have food. We're going to have prizes for the best costume. We're going to be dressing up like it's 1836. And it's going to be a great time.
And that will be at Well in the Square, 600 South Main Street, right there inside Crossroads Christian Bookstore.
I'm trying to put together my costume right now. I've got some stuff in the closet I'm digging out, some stuff I've had since 1836.
Oh, no.
And
Must be dusty.
Yeah, it's
Or
great
musty at
stuff.
least. And then the day after the ball, guys, is Mistletoe Merchant Day. And that is going to be super fun because you can win prizes. What they're going to do, there's a bunch of merchants in the square. They all have bingo cards. And you go in and you get it stamped. You don't have to buy something, but as long as you go into the store, you get a stamp on your bingo card. And then you turn that in, and then they're going to be doing bingo and drawing prizes. And all the merchants that are participating have all donated something that's worth at least $25. So it might be a gift certificate or something else. So you have a lot of chances to win because I heard that there's like $500 or $600 worth of prizes. So that's going to be super fun. It's going to be all day on the 13th, the day after the Old Time Christmas Ball. Now, not all of the stores are open all of the hours because obviously some are open at night, some open in the day. I know Well in the Square, we're going to be open from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So we're going to have, and every store is going to have some special deals too. Well, they're encouraged to have some really cool deals. So we're going to have some very cool deals at Well in the Square. So make sure that you come by and say hi. And then the next day after that is Coldstream Christian Camp's Christmas open house, which you do need to get a ticket, even though it's free. They will sell
I
out.
want to know how many people are coming. That's why.
Right, and so it's going to be 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, December 14th at Coldstream. And right now, they actually have a silent auction online that's going on. Matter of fact, I just bid on a massage. Anyways, Coldstream Christian Camp, they are also one of our sponsors. We love them. You got to get out and see those beautiful acres of just, beauty. I mean, huge lake. I don't know how big that lake is, but you can fish, you can have your church camps there. Coldstream Christian Camp is located at 4730 Goodman Road in Adams, 615-696-2208, or you can visit their website, coldstreamchristiancamp.org. Make sure you tell them Lee Marie sent you. And also another place that you can pick up some good Christmas gifts right now, guys, is Southside. Who would have thought a drugstore would have so many cool, unique gifts? But they do. Matter of fact, Linda's card sold out again. She had to take some more in there. If you haven't seen Linda's jeweled cards yet,
Handmade cards. She makes these cards by hand. They're beautiful.
puts these little beads on
There's no
one
way
by
that
one.
you can recuperate how much time is spent on those cards, and
Beautiful.
they're sold way, way, way under even market value for
Yeah,
these
they are.
cards. So if you want
They're
to get a good
frameable.
deal on a handmade card,
Mhm.
you want to see Southside Drugstore and see Linda's cards up there.
All right, and they're located at 1000 South Main Street, and they're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and Saturdays, 8 to 4. For more information, you can visit southsidedrugco.com. Also, there's an important meeting coming up on Wednesday, December 10th. And what this is there is a very successful middle school called Flourish Middle School, and they are looking to see if there is interest in bringing this to Springfield.
We should talk about this for a second
Yeah, let's
because
talk
this is
about that.
pretty interesting.
Mhm.
I know that there's always contention when it comes to raising children and educating children, this and that and the other. And when I was in school, I went to public school most of my. I went to private school a little bit, but I went to public school most of the time. And I know you went to private school,
Nine
and then you
years,
went to public school after that. Um,
3 years.
so there's private education and public education. Now, if your parents are not involved, the parents are not involved with the children in education too much. Parents sometimes say, oh, well, the parents need to be involved. Well, my parents were never really involved with my education. I would take my homework home and I would do it. And I think most of the involvement was, my parents looked to make sure I was doing my homework and not, messing around playing a game or watching television or something like that, right? So that's about the most involvement because as you go through school and most of the time look at this stuff in like new math or what have you, sometimes parents don't really know what's being asked or how the question should be answered. So it's really not up to the parents to educate their children. But I know we have homeschoolers as well that do educate their children. They work on that. But school and education, whether it's public, private, or it's whether one of these special schools like the Flourish School, which is very special, they work with young children with what's called project-based education. So it's a hands-on way of teaching children processes and applications. And actually, they go through a lot of the technology and other things with a hands-on view of it. So rather than sort of sitting at a desk listening to a lecture, with children are not good at listening to lectures. Okay, if you know children, they like to run around, they like to touch stuff, they like to be able to put their hands on it. So, and I know this is the way children are. So, this type of school is sort of oriented towards the way children learn. And children learn a different way than the way adults learn. Adults like to sit and listen to a lecturer, but a child doesn't. And so, that old format of the teacher standing up in front of the classroom dictating to the children doesn't really work with young kids as much as people would like. And so I think that this type of school, like the Flourish School, which is a hands-on, project-based oriented school for elementary school, right? So it's middle school. Well, it's middle school. So what are the grades on that?
Well, it doesn't say on here because there are some middle schools that are different grades. But anyways, what I wanted to make sure we mention because it's already 8:30, and that is that they are going to be accepting ESA and EFS scholarships to cover tuition. They also have a sliding scale model. It says that makes it accessible for every family in Tennessee.
Yes, a lot of private schools are doing that now. A lot of the church schools are doing that now. They're offering discounts and they're offering to sliding scale tuition to try to make try to make it as affordable for as many families that want to have their kids in that school. And I think it's important. Now, this school does not exist yet here in Springfield. Now, they will come to Springfield if they have enough interest. And then we've talked about this before with charter schools and this, and there was a lot of interest in a charter school, but it didn't happen. They had enough interest actually in the charter school to bring a charter school, but it was not voted for by the school
Right.
board. Well,
All
this
right.
is a private school that does not answer to the school board, and so all they need is enough interest
And we
to bring it
desperately
in.
need a middle school here in Springfield. And this one would be coming to Springfield. So anybody that's interested, it doesn't matter, it says doesn't matter what the zip code is. If you're interested in going to one of these private middle schools in Springfield, make sure you come to this information meeting. It's going to be free pizza. It is going to be Wednesday, December 10th at 6:30 p.m. at Purpose Life, which is 805 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. They are asking for RSVP so that they get enough pizza And there is a phone number here that is too small and it won't let me blow it up. So you'll just have to go to my Facebook page and see what it is. So it is called, the flyer looks like Introducing Flourish Middle School. So there's actually going to be people from that coming and saying, hey, this is what we got going on. Do you guys want it? If there's enough interest, then we will have it open in the fall of
You know,
2026.
Lee Marie, I'm not, you know me now because we've been married for a little while, but you understand that I am sort of an active person. I'm not as active as I used to be. When I was a child, I was active.
Hmm.
I would run and run and run. You could not get me to sit at a desk as a child. So
That's how
I
I
had
am
to sort
now.
of learn on the run. I did. I learned on the run. I had to learn it while I was running. And this would have been kind of school for me because it's a hands-on, project-based, oriented, small classroom size, lots of teacher participation with each individual student, and that environment would have worked better for me than the way I had to go to school. So it took me a long time to get my education. I was a slow learner because I ran around the room so much. I couldn't sit at a desk very long. I was very hyperactive. But I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of fun. They did not put me on drugs. They did not put me on Ritalin. My mother said, "Well, he's a boy and he's active and he likes to run. You know, he's a sports kid, right? He's going to be sporty." So that's the way I was. And a lot of young boys, they like to run and they like to jump on stuff and throw stuff, and that's how they learn. They learn by playing. And people who know this now, my grandmother taught kindergarten, and she retired as a kindergarten teacher. And she won it. She actually got a state award from the governor of her state, a lifetime achievement award for what she did in education. So, and she told me every morning I would sit with her for coffee, you know, when she was older, and she would tell me that children learn through play, and that's the way they used to teach it back in the 30s and the 40s when she was teaching. And so, you know, in that way, people learn through play when they're little children like that, and especially boys who are very active. They like to run and play. They don't need to be in a classroom. They don't need to be sitting behind a desk when they're that young and they're that active. They really need to work hard playing and learning through play. And you can teach children through play. And I know there are people out there homeschooling them. They're learning it. You talk to any homeschooler out there, they'll tell you, yep, this is what we do with our kids. And you know, it's important to understand that children do not learn the way adults learn. They're not sitting at a desk. Little children don't learn that way. They like to play. They like to have hands on. This is the type of school that allows for that, from what I understand. But to learn more about this and to really look them up and to really critically review them, you want to come to the meeting Wednesday the 10th at Purpose Life Church. What time is that again?
It's at 6:30, and I did look up it. The grades would be 5th to the 8th.
Grade will be fifth grade to eighth grade.
Hmm.
Very active students at that time. I know they play hard at
And
that
even if
grade.
you don't RSVP, come on out. But I'm trying to get that phone number
That's
for
also
you.
when they're very curious. So you have a STEM situation where you have, what is it? It's called science, technology, and something else. It's STEM, STEM, and STEM is very, very important because STEM is what's integrated into project-based learning. Project-based learning and science learning it goes hand in hand. So if we understand that's what they're doing with the school, and that's the way they like to teach, and the way their program works for students who need something different. So if your child is different and you want what they call it, you want to release your child's superpowers, you want to develop those. That's what they're actually talking about there. Is they're using STEM and they're using project-based learning activities. And so this is important. That's a different type of school. It's not the usual type of school, but it is for special students who do want to learn in a different way. And that would have been perfect for me and would have been perfect for a lot of my friends, of course, who went to public school during that time. It would have been a lot better. It took me a lot longer to learn what I needed to learn to graduate and do all the things I needed to do because I didn't settle down. I needed years to settle down before I could actually sit in a desk and listen to a teacher lecture me. It took me a long time before I could settle down to actually do that. And that's why I was slowed down. This would have been a perfect opportunity for my parents if they had a school like this, but they didn't have a school like that when I was a child. So I
All
wasn't
right.
able to go to anything like that.
Well, as our other guest makes her way in, I'm going to talk about
The
actually.
woman of the hour is here, Deborah Grant.
I put my skis on the bottom of my tires.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Okay. All right. We got Deborah Grant joining us here.
Places with you. I
And
want you to sit over here at this microphone. You
I
look
also
so
just
pretty
want
today. Let's
to.
get you right in front of the camera.
I want to remind you guys that we are live on the radio, which is 1100 a.m., but also you can go on Facebook or YouTube and watch us. And that's usually entertaining as well. Um, and remember, guys, the Facebook link does expire after 30 days on Facebook. So any live feed on Facebook expires after 30 days. So if you want to share something, I'm also encouraging people to share that YouTube because those don't seem to go anywhere. So, anyways, lots of great information. I know we covered a lot of other events also this week. So, if you missed this past Wednesday show, please go on and find that. And we also have a phone app, guys. WSGI has a phone app, and I am loving the music. I don't know if you guys have been listening to the music lately. Of course, we have our good old gospel format, and these super cool stickers are out there. But we also now are playing holiday music. So it's a great station to just have programmed in your phone. Matter of fact, Stephen, why don't you take that mic back for 1 minute so that you can talk about Ridgetop Mower, because Ridgetop Mower is one of the places that you can get these stickers. Now, I know Gary is not open today because he is in another state helping to empty out a shop over there, but tell them about Ridgetop Mower of Springfield.
Ridgetop Mower is located at 1101 Matthew Street in the heart of Springfield, right? Ridgetop Mower is where you would go to find parts, where you would go to find out what's going on with your mower. You would have your mower picked up and fixed and delivered. Ridgetop Mower does all of that. And I don't see this on, this is kind of hard to see there, but if you call Gary at Ridgetop Mower, and tell him that you got a mower you need picked up, you need it worked on, you need to get it fixed up for winter, you need to go into hibernation with it. He can do that too. He can fix it up for winter. He can pick it up, fix it up, bring it back to you. But there's a lot of things that you need to know about Ridgetop Mower, and that is one important thing, that Gary is an honest guy. He works hard. He's very honest. He's out of town right now. Is he out of town right now? Yeah. He's out of town right now, but he will be back. He will be back shortly. This is the holiday season. It's winter time, and you need to get your mower prepped for winter. And if you don't, you might have some serious issues with it. It costs you a lot of money to get it fixed in the springtime. So right now is a good time to call Gary and find out what you need to do, what he can do for you to prepare your mower for winter and get it ready. Of course, when springtime comes up, you're going to want to get it serviced. You're going to want to get that oil changed. You're going to want to have a lot of different things to it: lubrication, blades sharpened, or blades changed, and fix anything that's wrong with it. Because if you start mowing with a mower that's not ready, that's got some bent parts, it's got some bad parts on it, and you start mowing, and that mower goes into a great disaster. It has a big accident on the lawn, and now it's going to cost you 3 or 4 times the amount of money when you could have just taken it to Gary and had those little problems fixed before you got into trouble. So remember, Ridgetop Mower is the mower place you need to go to for all your mower needs, because Gary's an honest guy, and he'll tell you the truth. He will tell you the truth about your mower.
And their phone number is 615-384-0093. And also, if you know Gary, it's still his birthday week. So go ahead and wish him. And you know what? You might as well sing that "When I'm 64," that song to him, because he is 64 this week. So happy birthday week, Gary. Happy birthday week also to Aunt Judy, and happy birthday week to my sister Lynn. So lots of cool. And Mark Vivio. Wow, it's a popular birthday week. So we love you all. And all right, we have Debra Grant, who has joined us.
Good morning, Robertson County.
All right, you sound fabulous. All right, so Health and Fitness Friday. What health and fitness item do you want to talk about first?
Oh, my goodness. I was listening to you two on the radio and cracking up. I can just see you, Stephen, not sitting still at a desk. I like the idea of the healthy learning by how you play. Because, yeah.
Did you see, I don't know if you tuned into, not this past Wednesday show, but the one before, when he was starting to say some stuff and I turned his mic down? And I was like, I need this,
I think something changed there. I wondered, because you were doing really good the last time.
Oh, yeah. She loves to turn my mic off.
And he's like, what happened? She turned my mic down.
I'm a wild card. She's like, you can't say that on the radio. Well, no, people don't like that.
And so I just turned him down. I'm like, I need to have like a remote pack I can walk around with.
Now, if you want to hear me say stuff that Lee Marie doesn't want me to say on the radio, you want to turn into 1100 SGI, because you will hear, I'm a wild card. You never know what's going to come out of me.
Now that I believe.
You don't know.
Well, I do need to at times turn your mic down. But Linda was cracking up that day. I mean, I thought she was going to fall out of her chair out there.
We don't want to get in trouble with the management at the radio.
No,
So, she turns my mic down so I don't get in trouble with
well,
the owner of the radio station.
I've listened to a few times when I would have turned your mic off too.
Well, there's been so
And I
many
love
times.
you both.
I know. There's
Okay. All right. So,
All right.
so
I know. It's okay.
So we are in health and wellness. What is this? Is fitness, wellness and fitness Friday. There we go.
wellness and fitness.
I'm
Friday.
used to on the go show, so we'll help wellness
Okay.
and
All
health.
right. What do
but
you
I
want to
help
talk
all the
about,
time.
Deborah?
Well, let's see. I brought you some Breath and Life oil to
Oh, I
breathe
love that
some
stuff.
in. Helps you with your sinuses, and I've helped people that have had pneumonia and bronchitis and all that. And
love
Breath
that.
of life.
right away, it
Breath of
just
life.
kind of opens everything up, and I love
Sure
that
does.
stuff. I carry that in my little purse all the time, so I have it
Oh, I have
ready
it with me in my bag right here.
available to help people with a short term.
Your hair looks fabulous. By
Thank
the
you.
way.
You got to get up pretty early in the morning to look as good as
I
Deborah.
didn't get up
Look
too
at her.
early,
She
but
looks
I was up all
gorgeous.
night.
Did you just
playing.
get your hair done?
Yeah, well, I'm
It
one of
looks
those that.
fabulous. Cut it yourself.
Yes, I
Uh-huh.
know. Sorry.
It's great. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, when you asked me to come on for health and wellness, I'm thinking, what can we talk about we haven't talked about before? And last time we talked about the big C word. So, I want to add, I brought in the Z radical last time, but I told you to go to pubmed.gov. So, this is a kind of conclusion from the last
Okay.
time. PUBMED.gov and look up fucoidan. I didn't give you the root
So
of
this is super
product.
top secret stuff right
No,
here. We're gonna-
no. This is something that has scientifically been proven to help with growths. And so if you look up fucoidan, it's Fucoidan, 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 and whatever's going on with you.
Mhm.
So that is had something that myself, I'd had some cysts and they went away. So we cannot say something's going to cure something. So I'll put that disclaimer in there. But you can look that up yourself. That is something, along with the beta glucan that I talked about last time and the selenium that Dr. Wallach has the health claim for. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate that because a lot of people are dealing with that, but it's because we have a lot of
Toxins and stuff.
CRAP being put in our bodies, whether it's what we're breathing, what we're eating,
Well,
what
and
they're
there's just
injecting.
So many things. Matter of fact, I was reading a list yesterday. There was one of the, remedy Facebook groups,
Mhm.
and I was reading to a friend. I said, wow, it's really amazing how many things can really help with cancer. And I mean, there's
Yes.
so much, that was never talked about before. And I mean, this list actually had about 50 things. Now not everything is good for every type of cancer, but if you start researching on some of those sites, about dandelion root and just,
yeah.
a lot of things.
Yes, I've had health people come. Can I come get the dandelions off your grass? I said, "Come on, what you talking about now?
Yeah,
Tell
so
me
there's
why."
a lot. So don't believe the lie that there's no cure out there, because there's a lot of things that people
They
are
found
having.
that many moons ago, and I know Dr. Wallach with the selenium. That's one of the things that helps to help prevent and cure cancer. It is a certified FDA health claim. He fought the FDA to win that health claim, and that he had books, tall to the ceiling, stacks to have to do that because the FDA doesn't food and drugs. So you've got food and pharmaceuticals administration. You think about that. So how are you going to protect your food if it's partnered with pharmaceutical? Think about that. So, but he did prove it, and they had to give him a health claim on that, as well as the your omegas for your heart and that type of thing. So, I don't know. When you shared, I just thought we need to kind of address, mind, body, soul, to have health, to have full health. So we talk about the mental health, but I always add in the word of God. You have what you say, and death and life are in the power of the tongue. And you're going to eat the fruit, or you're going to live out the fruit of what you speak over your life. So be careful. Don't say, I'm going to take the flu. I'm going to get the flu, blah, blah, blah. And please, 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 please consider not getting the flu shot. I had a friend, I was talking to a new friend, and he's really, really, really sick, and he doesn't know what happened. I said, did you happen to get the flu shot? Oh, yeah, I got my flu shot. I just can't believe I'm so sick. I said, well, that's why you're sick.
Well, I think that the flu shot has some problems, and I think one of the first things that I think about, and I'm kind of a rationalizing person, right? I like to think about things in
rationalize.
argument, right? I'm an arguer, but the flu shot, from what I understand, is a hit and miss thing because
It is.
they have to get the right configuration of the object, right, that your body will respond to and start to create the antibodies. But if that configuration is a hit and miss because they don't really know what it's supposed to look like, but they guess at it,
It's
so it's a big
mutating,
guess,
so it's
Well,
right?
and we don't want
changing.
to talk about it too much
And it's
because
always changing.
those shows get taken off of Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah,
So
but the
apologize.
idea that you're guessing at what the configuration of the flu is supposed to look like for
Mhm.
your body, and so it may work or it may not work, and oftentimes it doesn't work. So it's a false sense of security, and people think they can stay up all night, they can eat whatever they want, they can run around because they got a shot, and they think
Yeah.
that they can do all this extra stuff, and then they end up getting themselves sick anyway. And so it's not a guarantee. So even if you do get the flu shot, you want to make sure that that doesn't mean you get to stay up all night and eat a bunch of bad
Yeah,
stuff
you
that's
still
bad
have to
for
take
you.
care of your health.
You
But
have to take care of
RFK,
your health.
our
Yeah, it's
health
Yeah.
person, has got a lot of good information on that. I brought that, but we can talk about something else. So he talked about some of the things the effects of people that they've studied that have gotten some of those shots. It's not just flu, and they give them away free half the time.
That's
And
why a lot of people take them. I was actually talking with someone the other day. I'm like, why? Because somebody said, "Oh, my friend just got a flu shot and now they're
Mhm.
sick," and she
Well,
told me
duh.
that happens every time. And I said, "Well, why does she keep taking it?" And you know what he said? He said because they're free. That's why we take them.
Well, something
Oh my
something
Because
I
they're
just
free.
Well, guess
discovered
what?
through some
You
nurses
got
and
what you paid for.
doctors that they're giving them to you if you go in for surgery. Even if you say I don't want these shots, when you get put under, they have it in the contract that you signed to let them do the
So make
surgery.
sure you read your
And they
contract.
give you all those shots that you don't want, the COVID shot, the flu shot, and all those things. So I don't know how you can protect yourself from that, but I've seen that more than once recently of people that were over things in the hospital. So just take care because if you need to have a surgery or you need to have something, just be careful what you're allowing them to put in your body.
And Wild Doc, I know he's not here today, but of course he would want to remind you guys that there are so many things that you
Alternate.
don't need surgeries for. Yes, alternate.
Amen.
And a lot of people, because they were conditioned,
Mhm.
with the old system, they want to, as soon as they have some ache or pain, they want to get something x-rayed, cut off.
Yeah,
you know,
cut burn poison
burn,
is what I
all
call
that.
it.
Now, there was a time when you were scheduled for surgery because you had that carpal tunnel thing going on, and you had a collapse of your hands. You couldn't use them.
Yeah, twice I
What
was
happened?
scheduled.
You couldn't use your hands for a while, right? I mean,
For 1 year, I had pain in my hands. It was so bad. I was scheduled for surgery, and luckily, I went to a doctor who said, "What is your work life right now? Are you under a lot of stress?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm in a very stressful workplace." And he said, "Can you get transferred to like a store because it was a high volume store? Can you get transferred to a store that?" And I said, "Yeah, I can get any store I want. There's a store right down the street. It's a real low volume store." He said, "Try that." The next day, I didn't have to wear either hand brace. And the next day, I never wore another hand brace after that point.
So stress matters.
Stress,
And
yes.
sugar matters because it causes inflammation and pain, and not hydrating properly matters.
And then another time, I injured my hand
Oh.
with a swing dance move. And
These two teach dance, guys.
dancing.
yeah. And I was, again, scheduled for surgery. But one of my friends was a physician, and he said, "My friend is the chief of hand surgery at UCLA. I have an appointment for you. Go see him. I do not want you to have surgery. Anytime you open your body, you're
Exposing
risking."
it.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I went to see this man. He put me in a cast for like, I don't know, 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. After that, my arm, my
Yeah.
wrist was perfectly fine, never to be hurt
You
again.
needed the rest.
So people don't realize all these things. And I didn't know at that time.
Yeah.
I would have gone for both of those surgeries. Thank God, thank you, Lord, that you put people in my life
Amen.
that spoke life and spoke alternatives to me.
Yes, I had a similar thing with one of my sons. The two boys. You talk about being rowdy. Well, they were rowdy. I went shopping, and they were getting each other and getting the wall and whatever, being boys. And he had fractured it, and you could see it. And the doctor says, well, there's just no way this is going to heal up. We need to go ahead and schedule the surgery and put pins and all this in. And I just kind of looked at him because I'm a health coach, 30 years working with Dr. Wallach. And I said, no, I'd like to take a couple of weeks and, use something I've used in the past that's been very helpful. And then, we can talk after that. You can do another x-ray. And, it was healed up enough he didn't even have to wear a cast. So, if you give the body what it needs, God's created our bodies to kind of heal and take care of themselves. And you just give the joint support for the body to regrow and solidify that bone and muscle and tissue and all of that good stuff. So,
And of course,
there are choices. We
have
don't want to advocate that there's cures, but
Well, and we just also want to say that, there are times, you get
well,
a
there are
limb that
times
is,
if you need an emergency
Yeah.
surgery. We're
yeah,
not
sometimes we
anti
do.
that.
Yeah, we're not saying that's all. We're just saying that there are alternatives.
Some other things to try to,
So please do
Ugh.
research. Or,
especially back fusion. I just saw a
Oh.
young woman yesterday coming in, and I thought, oh no, because once you start it,
Mhm.
you can't undo it.
And Wild Doc has a lot of information on that because he will say,
Yeah.
would you go, if your car was not working well and the warning light was going on, would you take a gun and shoot the warning
warning
light?
light,
Great.
yes.
We're good now. We're good to go. Because that's what a lot of these back surgeries are doing. It's just, let's take the pain. Let's not, find out what's causing
if
the
it was
pain.
like
You
poking
can't
me in
bend
the
it,
eye, like
yeah.
a warning, I don't know, I might shoot it. It's poking me in the eye. I'm trying to
All
drive
right, we
down
only
the
have
road.
8 minutes, and we still have to talk about UPS. So, Deborah, what else? Go ahead. We're gonna
Okay,
let you
well,
have it. We're gonna stop
I
talking.
don't know. We talked about health and all this, so being prepared is the most important thing. We had some sleet and ice and snow. So, what do you have in your car? What's a good idea? What do you have in your car so that you are not caught? Because you could get caught in some of these wonderful traffic jams I've seen. We've had some horrific accidents. So, you want to make sure that you have water that's not frozen. Maybe bring some fresh water, blankets. I brought flashlights, coats, extra pair of socks. I like to bring, they laugh at me, little Walmart bags, tie over your shoes if you have to get out and walk. You don't want to get your feet wet. And, you can bring some wonderful snow boots and put in your car.
You know,
But,
this sounds kind of like the beginning of a Hallmark movie where they kind of get snowed in together.
well, now
and-
hold on a 1 minute. This isn't a car.
Yeah, well,
now,
you
in
can
your
get
home.
driving
Get
on her
snowed into your
own.
car too. I've been off the road and run out of gas.
Let her
and
talk.
Oh, we're out
No,
of
no,
gas.
it's okay. I'm laughing. But at home, my daughter-in-law had the babies, and she does a lot of wonderful crafts with them, and just all kind of things. Well, something caught on fire.
Oh.
And she happened to have a fire blanket. So I
Oh.
was just going to suggest in your home, because if you lose electricity, you're trying to do some cooking. And what is the one thing you don't want to throw on fire if you're cooking?
Grease.
Well, no, there's grease already on the food, Lee Marie. What do you
Well, I'm
not
just
want to
saying.
throw on it? You don't want to throw water on it. You don't want to throw water. You can throw something dry, like flour or something. But these little blankets, I went over to our. No, please don't. No, and don't throw water. Newly opened store at Ollie's, and I went by and I bought myself a little inexpensive fire blanket because those can get pretty pricey.
Yes.
You also want to have flashlights in your car, and a knife. That was something too, if you need to get cut out. And a phone charger. They have phone chargers, and I didn't have time to grab that. But it's a little pad that you can keep it charged up, and then your phone can still be plugged in and have a full charge. And I've used that before when the power's gone out, and candles and matches. The thing you have to do is know where you have them, because when it goes dark, in the middle of the night or whatever, and you can't find them, they don't really help you out. So
It's true. Now, and I do want to say
Water.
that we do have a lot of new people in town, and they
Okay.
don't realize what storms do in this area
Yeah.
because the trees can come down very easily. And if you live in a place
yes,
that has narrow streets, like I got trapped my first
Mhm.
year here
yes.
in the car, I was only like 2 miles from my home. But a huge tree came down and it covered both sides of the street,
Yes.
and none of the guys in the trucks that came up could move it for
Everybody
hours.
come up and try, and
They had to get some
come up and
chainsaws,
try.
didn't they?
So,
So-
we were backed up. I was in my car and it was cold, and I was
So
in there for
blankets,
2 hours.
extra change of clothes, some snacks, some water, flashlights for sure, a knife. So if you have to cut, I know my daughter one time got in an accident and she was flipped upside down, so she couldn't get the seatbelt off because it was applying pressure, so you want to and something to break your window, know where these are. I want to throw in one more quick thing. I know that this is kind of an odd thing, but senior health, there's a lot of older people that at one time in the day they were the most active in your church and your community and things, and now they can't drive or they can't see well and they're at home alone. Can you check on your seniors? And if you have an opportunity, every year we would go into the nursing homes, and there's a lot of people that never get visitors there. Ask who doesn't get visitors. If you have little kids, we've gone in there and brought like a guitar and done little square dances and or a keyboard or something and just sang.
That's a
And
great point. Adopt one of them. So,
yeah, just love on some people. That's a give. God says seed time, harvest. They can't eat a lot of foods. We would bring a basket of bananas and peppermint, candy canes. We'd ask first, but they just loved them. I mean, they'd have tears down their eyes, and it was such joy. Brought them such joy. Even if you say, "I'm going to go there for 30 minutes."
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
check
Even
on
if
your
you're
at-home
just,
seniors.
maybe you're on Fifth Avenue and you're driving by Waters, just stop in because there's always people in the waiting room, or the front room or whatever, and just go in there and just greet everybody.
Yeah,
It's important. And another thing,
and
in
look
this-
at them in the
life is
eyes.
uncertain. You always want to, you want to make sure you leave in the morning. You tell your family you love them. You tell your wife you love them. You love her. You tell your kids you love them. You want to take care of that well-being and that spiritual health. You don't know what the
Absolutely.
day is going to bring. We're not really promised tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
we have to sort of live day by day in a way, and keeping in touch with your family and staying close. And that's so good. I grew up watching the Waltons. I know everybody did, and the whole family lived in one house, right? It was one of those
Yes,
things.
that
But
was the way they did
kind
it.
of reminds us that we are one big family. You got grandma, grandpa, sometimes great grandma and great grandpa too.
Yeah.
And our family lived fairly close as a clan, so to speak, for many many years. And that's the fondest things that my aunts remember, that I remember. And I was just talking
Family
with my aunt
times.
who's turning 80 yesterday,
Woohoo!
and Aunt Judy. I'm going to say happy birthday to Aunt Judy. And she talked about how we loved that time when we were all closer,
It
in
is
that
very
time
special to just
to live close, and we
to
could
tell
talk
people
and
you love them. That is very, very key.
Yes.
Check on some of the older people. Keep your immune system built up. I'm kind of crazy. I make little vitamin packets of things that I need specifically for eye health, heart health, and multi. And then I love my pollen burst drink, and I love my de-stress that calms you down. Does not
Oh
make you
yeah, we got to talk about
sick.
longevity. The stuff that they
we've
have
only
is
got
so
1 or
good.
2 minutes, but
Yeah.
All right, so Deborah, give contact information for you because I know you have a lot of good, high quality, omegas and all that. So how can they get a hold of you?
yes, and I've been working with Dr. Wallach. So my website is the best. It's anti-age, the number 4, the letter U.com, ANTIAGE, the number 4, the letter U.com. There's a free health evaluation on there, and you get someone to go over it free with you. And you were talking about loving on people. I love my UPS job. I had a lady that came in the other day and I gave her a hug, and I knew this lady, so I said, "You got to give me a hug." She came back and hugged. And the other lady that I was helping, she kind of looked forlorn, and I said, "Ma'am, would you like a hug too?" And she walked back up to my desk
Oh.
and reached over the counter and took a hug. So people need eye contact. Make them feel valuable. Smile at them. It's free to give away a smile, and just love on people. Well, you need to do it all the time, but please reach out to some seniors that that have, like the couple that I went to the funeral in Ohio. They were head greeters at the church for many, many years, and then they got to where they couldn't drive anymore. And, that was the one thing Miss Nita loved about me is we always ran and did stuff everywhere. We had such a good time, and I'm not there anymore. So just check on people that are homebound, and just
All right.
take
And
a
we
minute.
need you to tell the good folks about UPS Store.
Yes. Okay. So I love our UPS store. We are not only just come get your packages shipped, but we are a print shop as well. We do beautiful canvases that look like oil paintings. That's my favorite thing you can ask them. I'm always showing people our paintings because you can put an antique picture, a family picture, a grandkid's picture, a pet picture on a beautiful piece of canvas. It makes unique personalized gifts. They're very good price. They're in-house. We do everything else too, from brochures and personalized Christmas cards. Yeah, the banners.
Hey, how long does it take to get one of those canvas things?
You can get them usually within a week. Within a week, and they're 10% off right now. So come in and grab a coupon. Any of the wide format printing is 10% off, and we also are giving away $250 Amazon gift card. And all you have to do is answer an 8-question survey to register to win. So we love our UPS store, and of course, come see us for your shipping needs. We can ship UPS and post office there in the store, and we can help you. Someone asked the other day they want to do some personalized little Christmas cards or little cards to hand out. We can actually print those for you. We can put the postage on them, and we can address them and send them out for you. So
Wow.
a lot of
And
fun.
there's so many events going on right now that
Oh
I
my
know you guys are going to.
goodness.
So if you get your cards done really soon, then you can actually take those with you and pass them out. But I
Yes.
also I know we're out of time, but
We're not out of time.
you had touched about people who maybe can't. I'll just put that mic right
No,
now.
don't do that. I'm just kidding.
um, guys, there's so many things going on, like Travis Price driving
Mhm.
through the Christmas lights,
Oh, I love that. I do that every year.
carriages. There's all these things, guys. Take a look at what's going on and call and invite those people
Yes.
who can't drive themselves or who don't want to go alone and say, hey, I want to go, but I don't want to go alone. Can I pick you up? When you
Yeah.
say that, it's really hard for
Yeah,
someone to
just
say no.
it just lifts the spirits of people. Just love on people.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I love both of you so much, and I'm so glad that you guys were here. I wish we could do this every day.
This is fun. You two were cracking me up on the thing. I got all kind of stuff. I'll have to do my "Twas the Night Before Jesus" poem another night. But
Oh,
anyway,
go ahead.
well, did this? Okay, wait.
If we get cut off,
Go
we
ahead.
get
Go
cut
ahead.
off.
We got time.
Jesus is worth it.
This is one of my favorite poems, and I put this on a Christmas card almost every year.
Ah.
So I would have. Let's see. I don't need to back up now. I
Need
just
my
need-
glasses?
No.
We'll get it started. If we get cut off, we get cut off.
All right, so 'twas the night before Jesus came, and all through the house, not a person was praying, not one in the house. The Bible was left on the shelf without care. Not one dare thought Jesus Christ would come there. The children were dressing to crawl into bed, not ever once kneeling or bowing a head. And Mom in the rocking chair, babe in her lap, was watching the late show while I took a nap. When out of the east arose such a clatter, I sprang to my feet to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. When what to my wondering eyes should appear, but angels proclaiming that Jesus was here. The light in his face made me cover my head. It was Jesus returning just like he said. And though I possessed worldly wisdom and wealth, I cried when I saw him in spite of myself. In the book of life, sorry, I lost my place there, which he held in his hand, was written the name of every saved man. He spoke not a word as he searched for my name. When he said, "It's not there," my head hung in shame. The peoples whose names had been written with love, he gathered to take to his Father above. With those who were ready, he rose without a sound, while others were left all standing around. I fell to my knees, but it was too late. I had waited too long, and thus sealed my fate. I stood and I cried as they rose out of sight. Oh, if I'd known that this was the night. In the words of this poem, the meaning is clear. The coming of Jesus is now drawing near. There's only one life, and when comes the last call, we'll find that the Bible was true after all. Sorry, I'm having a hard time not choking up reading it.
Oh, I know. Well, can you, is that shared on your Facebook page? Or people
I
can-
will share
Okay,
it.
great, because people are going to be asking me. And we do want to say hi to all the people that were saying hi during the show.
Yes.
Of course, there was Robin Spence, John Edwards, Jerry Sothergill, Elizabeth, Debbie. I'm so glad that you guys have tuned in.
Thank you,
and-
John, for what you've been doing.
And please share the show, everybody. Share it because we want to get to more people.
Yes, amen.
Let's get well together.
Let's get
All
well
right.
together. All right, guys,
Hallelujah.
we love you. You've been listening to 1100 WSGI. Make it a great day. God bless.